Hello, gorgeous, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Our guest today is Aleaha Lacopo. Aleaha is the co-founder of Do the Loving Thing, a social media group whose mission is to emphasize the power that love and random acts of kindness have on people's ability to connect and impact the lives of others. The group's inspiration was taken from Lacopo's uncle, Jeffrey Koenig, who passed away unexpectedly on March 14th, 2018, and whose legacy is honored by the group's title, his life's mantra, to always do the loving thing. Aleaha holds a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing degree from IU South Bend, where she was awarded several leadership award recognitions, participated in numerous fundraising events, engaged in speaking and mentoring events, and held prominent student leadership positions within the university. She was also honored to present the student address at her college commencement in 2011. Her philosophy is to live as an outgoing and energetic, enthusiast of life, abounding with love, kindness, grace, and empathy, with the desire to follow God's plan as he continues to write her life story. Aleaha is a hospice nurse in South Bend, Indiana, who in her daily life strives to build and nurture relationships to the deepest level, enjoys inspirational and faith-based reading and writing, is frequently caught smiling, hugging, laughing, and dancing, enjoys rides in her Jeep Wrangler, delights in spending evenings by her fire pit, and appreciates life with her husband, Tony, their 3 dogs, and her dearest friends and family. Hi, Aleaha, and welcome to the show.
Hello, gorgeous Kim. This is such an honor. I'm so excited.
Well,
what a day to spend talking about very important topics.
Well, I'm so excited that you were able to make this happen and that you could join us today. And I am so thrilled to share your mission with our listeners. And one of the first things I want to start with is tell me what made your uncle so special.
Absolutely. I grew up with being around my uncle, just like if you were around an older brother, a really close cousin, a really, truly very close friend. And he was one of a kind. Unfortunately, when he passed away, he was at the very young age of 52. But he truly dealt with a lot of hatred and people not being kind to him growing up in his life. And regardless of this, he chose kindness and he treated everyone with grace. He left every person truly uplifted after meeting with him. He was a hysterical person to be around, full of life, full of love. And, you know, this is just the most amazing way that my sister and I have come to find out to honor his legacy. And if he was alive today, he would be stunned. You know, he was very humble, very much a part of all of our lives. And he's missed very much daily, but he would just be thrilled to know that this has happened.
Well, you know, I resonate so much with that. So I lost Michael 2 years ago, and many people don't know, but our birthdays, we were actually 6 years and 1 day apart. And so we always celebrated our birthdays together. We would start celebrating the morning of his birthday, and then we would stop celebrating the evening of my birthday. So for years, 27 years, we celebrated our birthdays together. And so the first year that I had to celebrate his birthday without him, I remember talking with a friend of mine, and I asked her, I was just really grappling with this. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got to do something. I can't stay in bed all day. I need to do something. And I thought, what is it that he enjoyed doing that I would enjoy doing? And I thought, this is it. So he would have turned 57 that first birthday. And so we decided 57, 56. I think 57. And so we decided that we were going to go out and we were going to create 57 random acts of kindness in honor of Michael.
Wow.
And so I had these cards made up, and we left. Oh my gosh. We went around and it was, I could not stop smiling that day.
Yes.
Because I thought it was such a wonderful feeling to do for others, just to surprise these people with a dozen cookies or a rose on their car, or to pay for the car behind you. So I so resonate with what you're doing in honor of your uncle, because I know so last year in 2018, we did it just us. And in 2019, we opened these random acts of kindness. We had people in Maryland doing it in honor of Michael this year. And so we really want to make a bigger movement. So I so understand what you're doing to honor your uncle. It makes you feel good by doing good for others.
Yes, it does. And not only that, is you are truly bringing their spirit to life again, per se. It never dies, because when you see the reaction on the people, the recipient's face, you think of their life all over again. And I know that my uncle was always smiling. He had a beautiful sense of humor, a wonderful smile. And it is just amazing to know how every moment of our day is an opportunity to show someone else kindness from a very natural standpoint. So I think it's amazing what you've done to honor his life as well.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like, too, it allows the legacy to continue on. So it's the same thing. Even though your uncle isn't physically on this earth anymore, you talk about even this, right? Mm-hmm. So we get to talk about his memory. He's still alive because we get to share everything about him.
It's amazing. It truly is. Every day I feel so inspired. And just to know that so many people around the United States and truly the world are a part of this group now. And your spinoff of what you were saying, that people were in Maryland were being a part of, what you guys did for him, and that day where you initiated all those acts of kindness. We are really only into the group just over a year now, but every year of the anniversary of the group is also the anniversary of his death.
Wow.
So this year, March 14th, we had a Do the Loving Thing Day. Truly, I only broadcasted this through social media, and it was tremendous to see the impact and the participation of people all over the United States, of course, mainly here in Indiana, but people who don't even know my uncle, did not even know, but what connected us was the model of kindness, that everyone was excited to participate. And everyone shared what they were doing that day on social media by picture, video, or just a few sentences of a reflection of what they did that day to make somebody else's day better.
Wow. And I was watching, you shared it too. It was the choir that was singing Lean on Me inside Chick-fil-A. And I sat there and I watched that with these huge tears in my eyes. And I thought, that's what the world needs more of. Right? Exactly. The world needs more of just spontaneous working into a big song in the middle of a public place. The world needs more of do the loving thing, right? What would happen if this would really catch fire and that people were doing this? I can't even imagine what our world would be like.
Absolutely. And to kind of lead into one of the things that I know we're going to talk about, but it's the perfect opportunity, is the reason why we created this group. It really goes beyond when my uncle passed. My sister and I are very, very dear friends. She and I had this desire in our hearts months before my uncle passed away to really bring a positive light to social media. Now, not that social media is life, but you know as much as I do that so many people are connected on there, Facebook, Instagram, just the whole scenario of social media in general.
Yes.
And we were really getting fed up. I was literally ready to get rid of my Facebook because I was so tired of all of the hateful, judgmental, negative, bad news, stereotypical boom boom postings that you see on there.
Yes.
And I said, Aleah, we've got to do something. So we always thought about it. We never knew what it was going to be called. We thought about Spread the Joy, Sister Spreading the Joy, something. And my uncle, truly, 4 days before he passed, it was a very catastrophic event. He passed away from major blood clots in his lungs that were from a history of, he didn't know he had pneumonia at the time. He had a history of cancer, multiple things going on that he just wasn't given any moment to know, oh, this is it.
Wow.
So the day that he passed, truly, we were sitting at Olive Garden in Mishawaka eating as a family. And I looked to her, and her fiance, at the time, her fiance, now husband, said, you guys, let's do the loving thing. That's it. That's what you need to name the group. So that exact moment, I had my iPhone out and I figured out how to make a group, and I said, we're going to do it. And that's how it started. Just as simple as that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's not those big, you're right. It's one of those simple things. I remember, I was leaving one day to go do a speaking engagement, and my sister Trisha was working at the salon, and I remember I was getting ready to leave, and I turned around. She was always on me about my lipstick. Make sure you put your lipstick on. And I turned around to her and I said, "Don't worry, I promise to put my lipstick on when I get there." And she looked at me and she goes, "That's the name of your next book." And I thought,
my gosh, that is phenomenal.
But it's the same thing, like do the loving thing, right? It just came out, and then that's what you build on.
It just came out, and the beautiful part of all of this is I have so many aspirations for the group and so many things on a bigger schedule or a bigger scheme that I really feel like could happen one day. But honest to goodness, it's accomplishing and doing what it needs to do now. And we started off with a group really of just family and friends of my uncle and people in the community. He was very, very much a part of South Bend. And he actually was on the group of the 3 individuals who created the South Bend flag. So anytime you see the South Bend flag, that's my Uncle Jeffrey's legacy as well.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. I did not know that.
Yep. So he was a big part of that. And, if he knew that this was occurring, he would just be beside himself. But it is truly creating, another part of this too is it's an example of how to find the good even after tragedy strikes. Okay. And you know that just as much as I do, that when you bring honor and memory to a person's life in a positive, so many people want to be a part of that. I mean, it's just amazing to know that strangers I don't even know are on our page every day, reading, posting, and just embracing the message. And here's another cool thing is that do the loving thing. Eventually, when I figure out how to get this group trademarked legally, now, there is no other slogan out there except for this and ours.
Wow, that's awesome. So tell me, what's your favorite story of someone doing the loving thing?
To be very honest with you, the day that we had the year anniversary of his death this year, March 14th, I had scrolled through literally every single thing that people had posted about. And there was a story of a mother and her daughter. And I love when the kids are involved with this. Okay. So in our group, people can also, we'll get to the merchandise part of it later, but we have t-shirts and merchandise for the very young all the way to adults.
Okay.
And one of my friends who I've known for a while through my husband's sister, she and her daughter found out that the Center for the Homeless were low in stock of certain medications. She took her daughter to the Center for the Homeless. They had gotten all the meds that they had found out that were needed. I think her daughter's really only 8 or 9 years old. And they went there and they photographed the whole moment to see her joy and excitement of knowing that she was providing something that she knew that they needed. Mm-hmm. It was just a huge deal to me. I love the impact that the group is also bringing to the young generation through their parents, through their friends, family. And that's where it's going to take to keep this stuff going, the younger generation.
Well, it's interesting. So something stands out in my mind. Years ago, when my husband and I had talked about having children, we had a lady that he worked with that gave us a very good piece of advice. And she said, your child, when they are born, is an open book. And you are the one that fills the pages.
Yeah.
And I have never forgotten that as long as I live. And so what I think about with your mission is, and you get these young people involved that are 8 and 9, what are they going to go on to do in this world? Because a parent took them and allowed them to be a part of something like this, and they filled that page of service in their heart. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and it really that entire day that we saw this taking place, I've got really big aspirations for next year to make this more of a almost a whole week event. I dream kind of big, and when I get focused on stuff, sometimes I have to kind of take it back and be like, okay, Aleah, you're just one person. But I truly 100% want to indulge myself in the day of the anniversary of the group and make it more of a missions focused group someday. If I had all of the funds and resources and networking, I would turn this group into a nonprofit now because of my passions and history of community service and just what the group could do for the world. But then I'm reminded again that the Lord is doing exactly what he needs to do with the group right now. And that's just really inspiring people to be kinder, to show the world what love and acceptance and grace and everything can do to a person.
That's right. We'll talk a little bit about your community service background and how your faith and passions have inspired your daily life.
Sure. Ever since I can remember, and my biggest memories really date back to junior high school. And I went to Jimtown schools there in Elkhart, Indiana. I have not lived in South Bend except for as long as I've known my husband. But one of the biggest persons in my life who stood out to inspire me was my very most favorite teacher from junior high school, Sandy Farrell. And she brought the concept of community service into my life and realizing that we are really on this world to be a bigger part of something more than ourselves. And that was for the Relay for Life event, American Cancer Society Relay for Life.
Yes.
So starting in 6th grade, I was a part of the Relay for Life all the way through high school and even all the way into college, where I was a team captain for about 6 of those years. Through that event, it's how I really knew deep down that I wanted to be a nurse. But the hospice side of things came when my own family developed cancers, and my grandfather had hospice care at home. But ever since I can remember, I just always was striving to do more and to be a part of more, and not just go through life and, get my degree. And I'm always reminded that I want to do more than just simply exist. So during college, everything really honed the skills and the impact of what I knew that we needed to do in this world. And I was a part of our Student Nurses Association. We would do blood drives for the South Bend Medical Foundation. We were always coming up with what type of events, even little things, could we do for people in the community. One of the biggest events I got to be a part of was through Student Government Association at IU South Bend with the Student Nurses Association. And in 2008, we had a 24-hour dance marathon that I was pretty much the lead chairperson involved with, where all the proceeds went to the Center for the Homeless in South Bend.
Okay.
And we had hundreds of people participate, where you were up 24 hours awake dancing all night long with people pledging you. Regis Fieldman came. He has a very deep connection with the Center for the Homeless. I got to meet him. It was a huge event. Now, sadly, it did not continue on at IU South Bend, but to know that we had raised $20,000 for them.
Right.
It was incredible.
And they
they have, and they were our very first, we'll get to that later, but they were our very first nonprofit that I came up with that I wanted to help and honor through our group. But all throughout college, and to just really completely focus on the mission here, has truly been my faith, and how my faith has been able to be a part of my daily life, because as you and I both know, really a lot of this stuff is impacted by your faith and how you want to feel like you're always doing something bigger than yourself, and listening to that still small voice inside that is God saying, hey, I'm here with you. This is really bringing light to me and who I am through you. And that's what I always try to strive daily, is how can I make an impact knowing that it's a reflection of him.
That's right. And when you ask a better question, you get a better answer. So that's great. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about, explain the background of how the shirts and the merchandise came to be a reality.
Sure. So as we were continuing the first few months of the group, my sister and I were really trying to figure out how we wanted to make this something more than just, oh, hey, here's this group on Facebook. So in September, I had posted a note on the group where when you write anything, it gets blasted to all of the members through the news feed, if you're familiar with that on Facebook.
Yes.
And I had asked, hey, does anyone in the community know anyone who may want to network with us to have the shirt design that I really wanted to create? And a little bit of a background here. My uncle's partner, he is a teacher in South Bend Community Schools, and he helped me kind of create the logo design initially for Do the Loving Thing. We didn't really know what we wanted to look like. So between that post, I had a member right away tag the most wonderful person. To this day, we are dear friends, and I know she'll be listening to this when it goes live with this, but Nicole from Be the Good Apparel.
Yes.
She commented, and it was a God thing from the get-go. I had never been so excited in my life. We connected, I think, that same week. She called me. We spoke on the phone for an hour, like I'd known her my entire life. And she, at the same time herself, was searching for something in her life to be a part of, to bring positive kindness, love, all of that to her business in the world. And so to this day, Nicole from Be the Good Apparel is our shirt person. She does all the shirts by hand. She helped create the logo and make the whole design come to life.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, if it wasn't because of her, I do not think our group would be where it is today, because the shirts are definitely a mission statement to get people to ask, what is that? And they stand out. And it's everything that I know that my family wanted to reflect my uncle's life. And I am just so excited that, we've had the shirts now since October. We try to do a different color every time that we select a nonprofit. But if it wasn't for Nicole, and first of all, I gained an amazing friendship. So how amazing.
Yeah,
really. I thank God every day that she has been a part of this.
And isn't it funny how God just kind of drops those people into your life? And then you feel like you've known them forever. Like it's not just, it's not a one-time thing. So share with our listeners, like, how does somebody become a member of Do the Loving Thing?
So right now, everything has been focused primarily on Facebook. So if somebody was to log on and go on to their app or from their computer anywhere, all you have to do is type in Do the Loving Thing. And the very first thing that comes up is the group, and it will say request to join the group. And I have it that way because I really try to police the site for any spam or anything of any weird kind of requests. But as that is selected, it goes straight to me, and I approve the person to be into the group. And once you're in, you're in. You can also be invited from your other friends who are already in the group. A lot of people have joined. Now, what is so neat to look at is from the beginning, it was always like, oh, my mom or my aunt or somebody inviting their friends from school or work. But now it has become such, really, I hate to even say it, I don't like to say big deal, but a big deal to the fact that there's so many people in the group that it's being shared all over with strangers and people I don't even know that who are requesting to be a member. There's no mutual friends that I know. So I know it's reaching people.
That's right.
I've had people from Florida all over. And we also, I just last month made our first Instagram account for Do the Loving Thing.
Oh, good.
So everything is primarily, they can find us there, but it's primarily through Facebook. I have a website created, but I'm waiting for someone to help me make that go live.
Okay. Well, we'll be watching for that. Well, hey, Aleah, we're almost out of time, so I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I appreciate you taking the time out to speak with me and to share the work that you do.
Thank you.
If you have any questions or comments or would like to know more about the guests on our show, or for more information about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.
another beautiful day, walking in the sunshine, spending the time with you. Last night we had a good time, dancing in the moonlight and loving the night away. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I can't imagine what it'd be like without you. I can't imagine that.